Hi, and welcome to the Android Coliseum Hangout number 91 for September 12th, 24th. Oh my, I can't believe September is just ripping by us. How are you guys? Haven't talked to you all week. Haven't talked to you for a while, Sylvain.
I know. Well, I'm doing fine, thank you. Finally fall. I love it. Well,
Finally.
although here in Alberta it's still summer, so
This
should
is
have
the way
some.
it is here, I think. Our summer happens in September, apparently.
I
Yeah,
know. We had the same here. It's been like 24 degrees Celsius, which is like, we haven't really had that kind of consistent temperature for how long?
Well, the awesome thing about out here is we've already had our freeze, so not only is it warm, but there are no mosquitoes. So it's like perfect.
Yeah.
that's right. And next week it's going to be snowing, by the way.
Oh, shh, 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 shh. No, we got another week before the snow. We are not Calgary.
Everybody can blame Sylvain for that if it does actually snow tomorrow.
Well, enough about the weather, even though we are very nice Canadians and we always pick these neutral topics to talk about, like weather. We are going to now talk about Android, which gets a lot of feelings up. So let's start with our main topic, and the first one we have is Android TO, and you've gone to that a couple of times, Ryan.
Yeah, so I've gone twice now. This will be my third time going. I'm just trying to make sure I can get my proper travel arrangements. But yeah, so those are who can go. It's a great venue. A new location this year with the Mars Research Center. So very neat to sort of bring the science aspect and those people who are doing research, getting them into that aspect. But I mean, you got some great topics to talk about this. We have somebody from CyanogenMod coming. We have Google X coming to talk about, and we have Macy's going to be talking a lot about Android Wear apps, how to develop for them, and where they see Android TV going. So there's a lot of really good things. I hear there's also going to be a special announcement or some sort of surprise they have up their sleeve still to it. But aside from all that geeky stuff, it's a really good chance to sit down and connect and meet with other people who are also very passionate and excited about Android. Um, it's been I've met lots of people over the years at these events, and it's just a great opportunity. I don't know many places that really you get a chance to do that. I mean, you keep seeing these things like KitaCon or BronyCon or Comic Cons. If you're into those kinds of things, you can go to those things, right? But there's not really many Android places you can go and hang out, right? In Canada, I mean, there's obviously the big one in the States, the big Android barbecue. But those of you really can't afford thousands of dollars to go to Texas, and this is an opportunity to go do it in Toronto. I know it's not exactly in Alberta where you guys might be, but it's definitely a chance. I mean, I can go down there for under $250 to fly down, and it's a good opportunity. So I'll be there. Hopefully, the fight.
Martin's going to be there as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Martin's going to
Martin,
be
yeah.
there. Yeah, and
I
if you
could be
use the
there
code,
also. I
yeah.
could be there for $650, but might not happen.
Well, again, let me know if you're going to get a chance to go, Sylvain. I have a different code for us. So, but I mean, those of you who want to attend, we have a $26 coupon, so you can save $26 off the price. So $100 for a full day event. A really good chance, and there's going to be prizes. They gave away a bunch of phones last year. Rogers is there. Sony was there.
Sony.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff that are there. Last year, I remember getting to play with the Z. I think it was the Z, actually just not Z1, and they had to dunk it under the water, and play around with that kind of stuff. So cool stuff. I mean,
So is that something you'd be interested in going to, Sylvain?
I would love to go, but I mean it's kind of pricey to fly across the country.
yeah. See, I save up my
Unfortunately.
points every year, so for me, I use my travel points. So I fly for free. I stay with my sister-in-law, so I
Yeah.
sleep for free. So I mean, in that sense, it's not too expensive. I mean, I'll spend more on poutine while I'm down there when I go to Smoke's Poutineery, and the after party than I will on anything else in the trip. So
I don't know. My job is so technical during the week that if I go to a con, it's going to be a Comic-Con. Just sci-fi and fun. I feel like for Android, I would have to be a developer or something like that. Is that not the case?
I mean, there is a lot of talk about developing. There is a lot of talk about, like, especially like people like Macy, who are going to talk about specifically developing apps for Android Wear. As a developer myself, I'm not a developer myself. I mean, it's not as exciting to be there and to understand, oh, clean up your code by doing this, and this is what you want to be doing that. But what I think it was interesting for me to be there, is to see the other developers are there, talk to them, and see what they're doing, and to really feel their passion of what, oh, isn't it so cool? We have this new feature. I can now tie this thing to this thing on my watch, and I can make this cool thing. I think. Who was it? Was it Macy or Eva who did a hackathon with the Android Wear, and they developed a jacket that would, with their Android Wear and tell you which way to go or something like that. It was like little things you can make it do. Last year they talked about dual screening, so being able to interact with the Google TV before Android TV was announced, and using your phone. So the idea, your TV would be like your console, and then you would be able to play the game using your handsets. And they showed these, like, how these implementations can work. I mean, where it's possibility to go. So I think in that sense it's kind of cool. There's a couple of companies that are out there that are showing things off. I mean, and there's some geeky things. You can pick up your Android stuffy, or you can buy an Android figurine, or you never know. I mean, the one year we went, Kobo was walking around handing around ice cream sandwiches. Just Kobo was first to give Androiders their ice cream sandwich. So things like that. I mean, it's just kind of a cool opportunity, again, to hang out with other people who are excited about Android as you are. So
that's right. You can meet new people.
Yeah, and I guess that's the whole thing. Is it is a community, and while it's mainly the developer community, it's pretty exciting to see what people are thinking of and what innovations they're looking at making. Well, let's move on. Does everybody have a Chromecast? I have a Chromecast at last. I think I was the last of us to get one. Do you have one? You have one, Sylvain?
I have two.
Yeah, and geez, I feel behind. I only have one. I have a Sling box, though. So I see Microsoft is jumping into the casting game. What do you guys think?
I don't know. Is it too late? I kind of feel with Microsoft, they come up with products too late, after everybody. And I don't know. We don't have much details about it, but I have a feeling that it might not be as interesting as the Chromecast is.
Well, it certainly won't be as compelling because of the price.
$60. I mean, it's going to be using Miracast versus Chrome, right, or Cast, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think people in certain tech industries might understand Miracast better, because that's usually some of the standards TVs use, in a sense. But I think Chromecast has made it so much easier to understand. Like, you don't have to have a Windows phone, this one apparently works on Android phone as well. But you can use iPhone, you can use BlackBerry, anything that connects to Wi-Fi and sees a Chromecast. Boom! It has a Chromecastable app. It'll cast. So I think it's across the board. It doesn't have to work with just one thing.
Well, and I think the Chromecast really, I had it in a box for so long, and it really does amaze me how simple that was to set up. Like, everybody says things are going to be simple, and you go, and I don't know about you guys, but this is the story of my life. We had an upgrade at work. I got told for 2 days I was going to get an upgrade. I ended up phoning the help desk, and they said, oh, no, there is something wrong with your computer. We're going to have to do a manual upgrade. You won't be able to use it for half an hour, and blah, blah, blah. So this is my typical experience. So I was expecting that with the Chromecast, and man, it was so smooth. Plug it in, and boom, you have it. Like, to me, the Microsoft casting device is going to have to be that simple on every device that you would ever want to use to set it up. And that's a pretty high bar.
Yeah, and what about Google Movies and TV? That's probably not going to work on that device from Microsoft.
Well, and that's because, like, I think Samsung and I know my Nexus 4 used Miracast, right, to cast screens. So, but if your device doesn't do Miracast, or because like I think the
DLNA, wasn't it?
It uses DLNA versus Miracast, and those are two different standards if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have to fight between does my device have this or not. Whereas Chromecast doesn't matter if it's DLNA or Miracast, it just does.
Absolutely.
What is kind of cool about this one, I do have to mention, is that it does use Wi-Fi direct because it's Miracast. So therefore, you don't have to connect your Chromecast to the internet to be able to send stuff. Like for example, if I want to share a picture from the Google Photos app to my Chromecast, I have to wait until it's uploaded to the Google Cloud.
Yeah.
Or I have to use a different app that can cast a photo directly, right? So whereas this can just send a photo directly to it, so it's supposed to be fast.
And I think this will really come in handy for businesses, for business applications, because businesses are locking down their networks a lot more. So something where you can directly, you plug it into your projector, as they're saying, you plug it into your projector, and your direct connection. You don't have to worry about any security that's in the enterprise. And
well, you will have to plug it in for USB, because if you saw the cable, it's like the HDMI, and it's a little USB dongle, right? So unless your projector is a USB connector, and I know some companies who are like, was that a USB connector? You can't use that.
Yeah,
but it's not a USB. It's not a USB. It's not.
It depends on how it identifies on the network when it's a USB. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I have to admit that I saw some commercials for Cortana, and they're comparing it with Siri, which is like okay, but why don't you compare it with Google? Because I tell you, the thing that I use the most, to my surprise, is okay, Google, remind me when I get home that I have to do this. Oops, I just triggered my phone.
Well, the same thing I do. It's funny now with the watch, right? I just find myself doing the same thing. Okay, Google, remind me to take in my parents' garbage tomorrow.
Yeah, like that's real life stuff. But let's move on to more real life stuff, like bending our brand new devices.
What a bad idea.
I'm thinking that if I got an expensive device, that I wouldn't want to bend it. However, I also wonder how overblown this is, because seriously, I cannot imagine that Apple didn't do some testing on flexing of their devices.
Yeah.
You guys?
No, and I think you're right. I mean, there's got to be some aspect, but I mean, like, I'm saying I trust Russell Hawley and I can like 100%, but the guy has been pretty a straight shooter about everything he's done.
Oh, I'm not saying that he isn't. I'm not saying it didn't happen to him. I'm just saying it's probably not 50% of the devices like they make it sound.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's what I'm like. It's like one of those things, like, I know he's not saying, like, because like you said, it wasn't any overusage, wasn't any crazy usage that you wouldn't put on any other device and this happened, but it's like one of those things, like, I wonder how much that's really going to affect other people. I was kind of surprised to see how well the Note 3 stood up to that bending test.
It's plastic.
I mean, I have the G3. I'm pretty sure if I gave it enough pressure, this thing would crack. Like, I know when you get pissed off at old phones when I was at work, and you'd be like, yeah, they're pretty easy.
Oh, see, and I've had Samsung phones for so long. Seriously, like, I'm pretty careful with my stuff, but I don't put a case on it or anything, so it falls on the grass, it falls on the patio, it falls on the floor, it falls down the stairs, it falls, and yes, I am that clumsy. And I sit with it in my pocket. I'll sit with it and go, oh, where is it? Oh, I'm lying on it.
I hate that when it sits in your pocket and you stand up, and next thing you know, it's still sitting in the seat, or it's falling between the cushions in the work or something like that.
Yeah, so like I just can't imagine that Apple didn't do
something with that.
Yeah, come on.
And it's funny because
what are you doing?
I was just reading the report about why Apple didn't put in the sapphire glass. I remember they're talking about Well, that's the thing, because they're saying, sapphire glass is so strong and durable. Well, yeah, against scratches, but it is brittle as all can be. Glass is much better in that sense, right? The glass bends. And that's what you've seen with that bending test, is that it doesn't, the glass didn't bend, it's just the frame itself bent out, right?
Well, Sylvain, you have the OnePlus One, is that right?
That's correct.
And it's a pretty big phone. Are you ever worried about it bending?
Well, of course, I won't try to bend it. But you know what?
I'm military trained, he'll break it easily.
Yeah. I'm always aware where my phone is. I know if I'm going to sit down, it's not in my pocket. It's going to be in my hand or something. So I'm really not concerned about breaking it that way. But I would certainly not try to bend it on purpose, you know.
Do you get the feeling, though? I know with my tablet, like I have the S, and every once in a while I will be, because I hold it a certain way all the time. I grip it with a certain part of the hand all the time. So, like, all of a sudden I'll feel it flex a little bit, and I'll go, oh, flexy, and I'll flex it a little bit, and it then restabilizes. Do you ever have that with your OnePlus One, where it just seems like okay?
It's a pretty sturdy phone.
It is
sturdy phone.
Yeah.
Like, I like my Tab S is awesome, but it is, that's one of the things you give up. As soon as you make something too thin, you increase the flex on it. So.
No, well, that's what I was kind of wondering. Is it the fact that it's so thin? I mean, like when you see
I
the
think
picture,
it might be.
where that the volume connector is, right? Because there's a big, the CNC blast out a hole for the volume control knobs. It's a very tiny little thing there, so I'm not sure. That's got to be something have to do with it, right? They really were going for that thin. I mean, you see how thin they had to make it. They made it thinner than the actual, camera lens. So.
Well, I'm just hoping that Apple does the right thing by its users. I mean.
Well, show the test. At least show the testing. Just saying, listen, in standard testing by most people, and here was we did our quality assurance testing, and you can see.
And then for people who do have a damaged phone, as long as they didn't do something crazy like drive over it, I would hope that there would be some kind of I would hope there would be some kind of warranty replacement.
Well, we'll see if it turns into one of those it's a feature scenarios, or you're holding it wrong, right?
Yikes.
The whole antenna gate, so this is now band gate.
That would be unacceptable to me if they pulled that. Like, if I was an Apple user and they pulled that, I would be going,
Tim handles this Apple stuff.
The price they're paying for their iPhone 2. I was looking at the price this morning. It's between $750 and $1,000. Are you kidding me? So.
Well, that's $1,000 for a big memory device. Remember, so it's not like you can get a gold encrusted iPhone that's crappy for $1,000. You are paying for more features. I can't believe I'm defending them to you guys.
If it happens, if it does bend, you would think that the Apple Store is going to replace it. At that price.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe if they got Apple Care, but who knows if they know that.
Well, maybe they can replace the frame then. I don't know. Anyways, enough speculation. This will all come out in the wash. How about that BlackBerry Passport? It looks like a passport. Is that kind of square?
Very square, small keyboard. And I'm like, that doesn't fit.
Weird wide keyboard, hey? Like.
And it's not just the fact that it's wide. I'm watching the video of a guy using it, and it's just that it's skinny too, right? It's basically the three letters, the QWERTY row, the ASDF, and the ZX row. That's it. There's no shift key. There's no ones. The idea is that the software would appear above it if you wanted the extra keys or whatever. But I mean, like, it's so low to the bottom of the frame. I don't know how I could type. Like even on like, I'm just looking at this, pull up my screen now. Right. So if I pull up my screen, and my keyboard actually starts up here, right? Like, I start typing up here. So I have all this sort of area to rest my finger on, whereas I don't know if I could type down that low on what my screen is.
Yeah, it'd be certainly very difficult to hold.
That's right.
Like, interesting.
But,
well,
I mean, I'm looking at the specs on it. So I'm looking at the specs on it. So it's a little better than HD. It's 1440 by 1440, which is weird. Again, a square rectangle. 2.2 gigahertz processor, so about last year's spec, a Snapdragon 800, 2.2. But then again, you probably don't need a fast super one for BlackBerry's at 10. But 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gig space. You get a decent 13 megapixel camera with image stabilizing. So I mean that beats out Apple's one. You got a 3450 battery, which just beats out Apple's battery. So I mean I think
it's square.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
Like clientele for this.
I don't know how people are gonna get over that,
it's
right?
It's gonna have to be business users are who they're looking for.
Yeah.
But like, what special thing does it have for business users that would make them go, "Hey, look, a square phone"? When so many, like, face it, so many executives are enamored with iPhones because they want to be cool or whatever. Like, I don't understand why they would even think of this.
Yeah, I don't get why Enterprise is still so smitten with iPhone. I think it was the fact because we were Enterprise for years, right? Enterprise for years was always BlackBerry, and you couldn't do anything else. And then for some reason, they let in slowly just iPhone.
Yeah, I know.
Some are now like,
okay,
that
work.
Too, right?
And they hated supporting it too. Like, there were the people that, ooh, our chance to get a free iPhone, and then there were the people supporting it, going, I hate this. So.
And did you see the price for it? $700.
$200. They're looking at $200 on contract.
On contract, yeah, but outright. Ew.
Outright, like they're thinking like $700, right? So it's pretty pricey. I mean,
That's
again, it's a flagship phone, right? So flagship.
Yes, but yes. Okay, so we're all mystified. We're all Canadian. We're all mystified, going, what? So let's move on to the Humble Bundle because we're not getting anywhere with this either.
That's right.
So I got.
We're talking more about other OSs than we were talking about Android. Just because it's been that kind of week. Microsoft, iPhone, and now BlackBerry.
Yeah. Everybody's got something.
We're all waiting for L.
I am waiting for Sony to release the stupid Xperia because I do want to get that.
You're gonna get it as soon as it comes out? You're just gonna go grab it, or are you gonna wait?
I'm gonna order it, I think, from Expanses because I'm gonna go. Well, either Expanses or Sony if Sony will sell it unlocked.
Yeah.
I just don't because of the weirdness going on with my screen. I just don't want to get in a position where one day I'm at work and it's like, oh, this has stopped working, and then I go to the store and buy anything. Like I tend to be like that. And I hate being like that. I would like to plan my transition instead of going, I need a phone.
Well, I think that's the idea. I mean, you get the Z3 pretty cheaply. You get the Z3, send your S4 in for repair, and you still have the Z3. If they still come back with like, oh, but this is something that needs to be fixed for a long time, take it. You have a Z3 for a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah, well, and I can even use it. I mean, it'll be the compact that I'm getting.
Yeah.
And like I'll just keep that as a backup phone. There's nothing wrong with it as a backup phone. The S4.
The S4. Yeah, well, it's a good phone. It handles quite decent.
I love that phone, and I'm really gonna miss the hardware button. But I like Sony products too. So
you'll get over it pretty quickly.
I don't know. I really like coming back to it. But anyways. On to the Humble Bundle.
The Humble
Bundle. I got the email. I looked at it. And unfortunately, nothing appealed to me this time around. How about you
there's
guys?
There's the two versions though, right? So there's the PC and Android Bundle 11, which right now is $6.27, and you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. But if you pay $11, you can get these 2 extra ones, the Surgeon Simulator, which that might be kind of fun.
Well, yeah, that one did sound cool.
Anomaly Defenders is supposed to be really good. I've heard that. I mean, the other ones, yeah, Bridge Constructor, Cube Man, Blackwell series looks like, Small World 2. Those are really
Small World might be all right.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like Small
World.
World.
One with the little knit guy?
No, that's Little Big World or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's this one looks like a Risk type game. So that's the Humble Bundle PC and Android version 11, but they just released Humble Mobile Bundle, which is just Android only, 8, and there's, again, not many great games there. It's usually a knee-jerk reaction for me to buy these. Like, oh, a deal.
Mhm.
I'm Scottish. I can't refuse a deal. So it's like $3.77 right now, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they always add extra games down the road. So to pay over $4, and you get 6, probably 7 games easily. But they're doing something neat now where it says, okay, well, pay anything you want, you get the 4. Pay over $4 and you get the 6. But if you pay $5, you'll get Epoch 2, which actually looks like a very cool game. The other games didn't really excite me, but Epoch 2 looked really kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the, like, I tend to buy the book bundles more. Like, I do have some games on my tablet, but I don't play games. Like, and that's why it's going to be easy for me to go to a smaller phone, too, is I use my phone for phony things like messaging, texting, grocery lists.
What?
I know. All my fun stuff I do on my tablet. So
I rarely come to my computer now, even now. I do.
Yeah, like I turn on my computer for this.
But like even my tablet, I have my tablet downstairs. I really only touch it now and again. So my phone is my 100% everything.
See, and my tablet is with me all the time. We walk around the house. We each walk around our house with the tablets and share Porsche pictures.
I didn't use my tablets in months now.
See, and especially now that I have the watch, I mean, everything I do is I need my phone, right? So
Yeah.
I do phone. I'd rather have, and it's one of those things. Like I didn't really think 5.5 inches would be a phone size I'd want to get, but I've really liked getting this size phone. And
it's always interesting to see how different, and that's another nice thing about Android is that it is so flexible. Like you guys don't use a tablet. I use a tablet for everything, and like you said, phone calls. Well, I use Mighty Text, and it ports my text over, so I don't really have to worry about it. I'm still around the house, so I get the buzz on my wrist from my Gear Fit. So I don't know. It's interesting to see how people use their stuff. But in spite of how all our differences, we're still not really sold on the Humble Bundle for this round. Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm having a hard time trying to buy those. Again, because I'm looking at it going, the only game I think I'd like to check out would be that Epoch 2, which again, then I'm paying $5 for one game.
Yeah. I find the book ones are really a good deal. I can't have enough books, so for me, they really work out well. But the game ones, I don't know.
Now with the book ones, just a question about the book ones, because again, I really only read books through the Play Store now, or any of the old books I had bought or had PDF or whatever EPUB before, I upload to the Google Play and I do it that way. So I think any books I buy now, I have to get to the Play Store. But so if you buy,
that's what I do with them.
So with the book bundle, do they give you the EPUBs?
Yep.
Like for that? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so with the book bundle, what happens is once you purchase it, you can download them, and you can either upload to the Play Store or Amazon, I believe.
Okay, that's cool.
So, you have the options, and once they're in the Play Store, you can read them anywhere. So
because you can get them now, because the Humble Bundle app, you can see your book purchases too now.
Right.
This is just your game.
But you can't read. You can't read from there. And then, of course, if you get the comic books as well, they've had some Humble Bundle comic books too. So you would just import them into. They're all DRM free, so you can import them to whatever you want.
Whatever you want, yeah. Okay.
So it is a good deal. I think it's great work for charity, and it's great exposure for developers and that. So because I'm not that into games right now.
Cool.
So let's move on to updates of the week. Who's going to talk about that?
Updates. Well, I can talk about the TD. TD is my bank. I must be behind the curve on this. I thought this was great. They did this, and it was like, oh, great. And that's every Canadian bank now except for one. I think ING that doesn't do the scanning thing. I was like, oh, okay, so TD was almost last.
ING is considered a Canadian bank. Like they're all online, I thought.
Well, they're in Canada, so I guess. I think it was ING. I can't remember who said that, but I was like, okay.
ING does the scanning thing.
Did they?
I thought
Okay.
they did.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's Kansas City.
Maybe somebody else I was looking at. But anyway, so we can now, if you have TD and you have the TD app, you can now take a picture of a check, the front and the back, and then deposit it to your account. So Tangerine is the name of that bank?
Yeah, ING Direct
ING.
is now Tangerine.
Okay, I think that's the one somebody was saying that they didn't have it on their app or whatever.
Oh, no, they do.
Oh, okay.
That's my bank, so I know. Yeah.
There you go.
I do it all the time.
So, yeah, and then Mediafire, Sylvain, you're the one who uses that one.
Yes, they added the just pull down to refresh. I'm surprised that they had a new update because they usually wait a year between each update. And just a few weeks after releasing their latest update, they added that option, which is really great. A lot of people were complaining about the app not refreshing properly, so I think that's why they added
That way
that.
to manually do it.
That's right.
And not a ROM update, but we say it's more app update, but I kind of put it in the ROM update area, was that Chainfire now has that CF auto route, sort of a one-click route, now supports more phones that are out there for that 4.4x exploit. So they're out there. I mean, so that's available.
So Ryan, you said that you're looking a lot at stuff for your LG. Like, I haven't bothered rooting for a while. Sylvain, you said your device is not rooted?
No, and I'm not planning on doing it.
Yeah, when I get my new device, I'm not planning on doing it either. So.
I mean, primarily I'm rooting for two things. First one is I root my device for screen capture recording. So I like to so then you need to have a root for that. The other thing I root for is I like to play with expose mods. So just to tweak, just tweak your experience just a little bit. LG, Towelroot is one of the big famous ones out there. Towelroot works on most devices, but it didn't work on my G3, so I had to use StumpRoot, which is a G3 specific one-click root. But yeah, it's really nice how they have these tools that you can just do one click. I mean, I thought it was super easy when I knew it could take your Nexus device and go ADB, OEM flash up, and then just upload the Super SU and you're good, right? And that was all you needed to do. But now you just put the app on like Stump Root. You put the button, it goes, okay, forcing root. All right, putting the SU on your device, and you're good to go. So I was like, well, that's it. Too easy. And even my G2, there was an auto rec app where you could just hit auto rec and it would automatically install from the app your custom recovery. So no having to plug it in, ADB, flash, image, whatever. So I don't know, super easy stuff to do now.
Yeah, I have to admit, I didn't mind Odin. Odin's easy. You just plug in.
I never really got the hang because Odin's a very Samsung specific, right?
Yeah, it is Samsung specific, but it's super easy. You just open, like it's an app. You just open it, connect it, light goes green, click, light goes yellow, light goes green.
I've got some S3 boards that I've never been able to revive, and for some reason Odin never really worked on me, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but whatever.
I think
each file is my vary.
Things are stable enough now that a lot of these tools, unless you're a developer or you want to push the envelope, you can get along without it.
Anyways.
Any more news anybody wants to talk about? Sylvain? Anything?
Nothing new on the 1+1.
Still rocking that 1+1?
Love it. Yeah.
Such a different experience than you had, Ryan.
And again, I'll make the claim that was my usage. Entirely. I'm not making a claim that the 1+1 isn't worth the money or is a terrible device. Because, if they're going to do this now pre-ordering system and allow everybody to buy it, by all means, if you want CyanogenMod, go out and get it. It's a pretty decent device for a really great device for a pretty decent price. It gets a little expensive when you start factoring the costs a little bit, but it's still cheaper than any flagship out there. So, I mean, why not? If you want to do it. So, but again, for me, I don't know if I'm just what I was expecting out of it, just what it didn't match up to my expectations. So for me, I was not ready to sort of look past its faults here and there. So. But
Yes.
I
this
think
is,
you were just not lucky, Ryan.
I'm
And
hoping
that's
so.
possible too.
The guy that I sold it to hasn't said anything. He hasn't said
Hmm.
this is terrible or whatever. So
Maybe you didn't
hopefully,
get it yet.
well, he just got it. So I gave him the tracking he gave him
Okay.
the tracking information. He was like, "Oh, I got it! Yay!" I'm like, "Great,
Okay.
you know how it goes."
Well, you were upfront with it, so it's not like he can say you sold him something that. So
Exactly.
let's move into the Coliseum. This is the second week in a row that we're having a Coliseum. We've been sort of off and on for a while. Who won last week, Ryan?
Let's take a look here. App Coliseum checkout. So remember last week we had Cass, you had Kitten Taxi, which
I
actually
still like that.
you got a fair number of people actually commenting about how they actually liked the game, and it was really nice. I didn't give it a chance yet. I gotta apologize. I didn't give it a chance.
It's got really awesome graphics, and the thing I was thinking about later, and the thing that is so interesting about it is most games make it look like you're moving towards your target, whereas this game, they've drawn it so you're moving away from your target. And I think that that's what makes it really innovative looking. The gameplay is still shooting, but the art is very nice.
Sure enough. So we had that. I had the Screen Recorder Pro, SCR Pro that I used to do my reviews on, and Martin used Boxer, a replacement for your email app on your phone. So let's take a look here, and you guys are gonna sort of you and Martin tied for second place.
Really?
For second
place.
And I took the most. Then again, no offense. We're a pretty small blog. I only got 4 votes. You guys got two votes each.
Oh.
So I won by 2 votes. It's not that big a deal. So
I would make it big. You got like 50% more.
There you go.
50% more than needed.
I doubled your votes.
Yeah.
So we need people voting for these things. It'd be really cool if we can get more people actually to do that. So yeah. Anyways, so that's who won last week. Well, let's take a look at this week. What do we got this week?
Okay, so I think Sylvain is going to start.
Yes, so I'm going to talk about Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is an app if you want to watch anime. You can watch. What's really cool about it is that you can watch it on your phone or any device. They have PS3 apps, PS4, PS Vita, Xbox 360, Apple TV, Roku, and a lot more, they say. They have a lot of episodes. I consider the Crunchyroll to be the Netflix of anime. They have everything. They had an update, I think a couple of weeks ago on their app on Android that added the search feature. So it was really difficult. You had to go through all the anime to find what you needed, but now you can just search for it, and it's really easy. So that's one thing I like, the search function on it, and also Chromecast is supported. So how convenient. You just find your anime episode you want to watch, press your Chromecast icon, and there you go, it's on TV. So you can use it for free, but there are some episodes that require premium membership or different series. And I have the premium subscription. It's $60 a year, so $5 a month. It's really cheap, I think. Yeah. And they have like 25,000 episodes and over 15,000 hours of the latest and hottest anime. And all the new episodes, they come out on Crunchyroll 1 hour after the TV broadcast in Japan. So, it's hard to beat, and it's all legal. They have the license for it. I like it because you don't need to download anime anymore. You don't need to look for it. It's just there on your phone. So give it a try.
Something legal too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The creators are getting paid properly.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I watch Dragon Ball with my son right now. He and I are going through the original Dragon Ball series, and so I go to DBZ.TV to watch it, and they have all the episodes. And again, I don't know how quasi-legal this is in those sites. But I'm watching it on Chrome on my phone, I can then cast my Chrome tab with that video to the Chromecast and watch it that way too. But like you're saying, what's nice about that is, I guess, that it's legitimate. It's right there. And I said, especially if you're watching something newer, you get it right away, right? Versus having to wait for.
That's right. So, yeah, Crunchyroll, give it a try. It's awesome. I think it's worth paying for it. You get a lot more. You can add your episodes into a queue. You can kind of have favorites, so you always know where to look for your best anime to follow. So, give it a try.
So does it have the widest variety?
If it has what, I guess?
The widest variety of anime available?
Well,
Like, it sounds like a lot.
legally, yes, I'm thinking so. There's a few series that they don't have that my best series ever are not there, but I mean I've seen them already. But most of the new stuff is there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a really good app if you're into anime. What have you got, Ryan? Can you beat that?
Okay, I have got 3. Now, I did an article to review this the other day, and I just realized since I switched phones recently, I don't have it on my phone, so I'm just like furiously installing it on my device while we're doing this. So if I share the screen, do you guys see it? No, eh?
Not yet.
Let's do this then. Okay, so here's 3s. If you play 2048 or any of those kinds of similar games, the idea is you have to meet 1s and 2s. So swipe them down until they eventually get together, right? They can't go up the wall. And then they have to go to the wall. And then once they have no more space, you can move it sideways, and then boom, that's a 3. Right? Swipe anywhere. Now, other 3s appear, and then you just move them up together to make a 6. Right, so move him around all you want. Oh, the 3, but they can't go together. The 3s don't go together. The 6, you have to get another 3, and so they got that 3 to go together with that 6. Now they make 6, and the 6 makes 12. And I have a 12. So it's a little math. It's a little lame, right? So I have to. Oh, okay, well, I need to find that with 2. All right, there we go. So you start having to have a little bit of plan of what you're trying to do. And get these things to match together. I'm not that good at it, but again, this is, I think, a perfect game to sit down when you're waiting, at the doctor's office or at the airport. It's a great way to pass 4 minutes or whatever you might take to play this game. I'm screwing this really up badly. Anyway, I'm out of moves.
Like I do.
So once you play it, then you see the score, boom, 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 until it matches up all the thing, and that's my worst score I've ever had. Sure, that's my score. Sure. If you can hear the cheesy music it plays, I always just turn the music off. But you can also log in with Google Plus and then actually, connect to your Play Games account, get points and achievements and whatnot. So, boom. So as soon as I log in, make sure I get my that. Yes, I'll sign in. Yep, sign in. I check. So
You do play like me.
it doesn't show my scores. I had my other phone, but oh well. So again, it's a fun little game. Just play it, and again, the idea is match 1s and 2s and 3s and 6s to match them up, and eventually you should. Terrible. Darn it. Oh, there we go. Darn it. Anyways, the idea of play, it's a fun little game. Like I said, seriously, every game is maybe a minute or 2 at most, and it's, to be honest with you, about exactly what I need it to do. Ooh, I made it 48. I think it's a little. Anyways, that's my game. It is 3s. If you play it, I got it from the Humble Bundle. When I was putting on those Humble Bundle things, I think it's like $3 or $2 or something like that to buy in the Play Store. So it's not uber expensive. And like I said, exactly what you need just to spend a minute or 2 mindlessly.
Okay, so he had threes. I have Duet, which is a game as well. It is a really interesting game because all you do is you turn your circle in two different directions and avoid the blocks that are coming down. And it has lovely graffiti paint so that you can see where you splatted. And splats. And it's really interesting. I find it really frustrating. I can only play it for a little while because I suck that bad. The nice thing is that you can decide which way you want to go up when you press on the side of the screen, because it's two sides of the screen, right, that you're balancing. So that's really handy because I found that for me the way it was set up was backwards. So that was kind of nice. And it says use the headphones, but I find music in these things stress me out, so I tend to on mute. So anyways, it's a really fun game. It too is on the Play Store. Or sorry, it's part of Google Play, so you can get awards and stuff like that. And it is challenging. Yeah, and that's Duet. And it is free with in-app purchase. So give it a try. If you are poor at math, you might want to try graffiti.
And what does purchasing it change? Is it just about ads?
Yeah, it gets rid of some ads, and it gives you a few more a few more levels and stuff like that. I did end up purchasing it because it is very smooth and it does run well, and I like to reward developers because, what the heck? They're doing something I can't. So heck. Yeah, so those are the three things in the app Coliseum. There's Sylvain has Crunchyroll, which is an anime viewer. Yeah. And then Ryan had Threes, which is a game. And I had Duet, which is also a game. And I think let's have closing comments. Ryan, you had one?
Oh, there's one last comment. Jace made a comment on our event page just about asking about the Moto Nexus X release. Again, as for another rumor, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. It is about this time of year that we start hearing rumors. It wasn't until October 31st last year that the Nexus 5 came out. And there's a lot of leaks of people talking about it potentially being made by Motorola. It's going to be a little slightly wider. I just had to laugh, though, because, and the reason why I'm bringing it up, and I usually don't give leaks any airplay whatsoever, but CNBC wrote an article today, and it was talking about how Samsung and Google are at each other's throats, and how Google undercuts the partnership between. It was terrible. And he made a comment, and they just did it again with their Nexus X, making a cheaper flagship phone. And it was like, whoa, did this guy just out the Nexus X months ahead of schedule? Or did he mean the Moto X? Because every spec he talked about was the Moto X. And it's like, this is the most terrible writer in the world. They need an editor. So, anyways, I just thought
you could
Jace brought it up. Speaking of Jace Hernandez, Jace actually was the winner of our G3 contest. He just received it today. So I saw his photo of him getting the box. So we're looking forward to seeing what his thoughts on the device are. So that is awesome. Congratulations, Jace. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, and actually going back to rumors, isn't HTC supposed to be doing a Nexus 9 or something?
The Volantis is the rumor.
Okay, well, when there is news about that and it's in Canada, we will talk about it. So let's all say goodbye. It was supposed to be a short show, and here we are, almost an hour later.
4 minutes into it.
Darn.
It always happens. No idea. We have like 4 topics, yet we still.
It's drift.
It's that Canadian in us, eh? So. Anyhow.
So let's all say good night.
Good night.
Well, good night.
Oh,
Thanks
and
for watching. Next
Okay.
week?
Next week? I don't see why I won't be here, so I'll be here.
I will rush home from exercise and be here.
Awesome. I will let you do my exercising for me.
I do it for most. How about you, Sylvain? Are you in?
I should be in, yes.
Excellent.
Alrighty.
Oh,
That's it then.
bye.
Bye, everybody.